Let's do it.
Happy holidays. This is our holiday shows, literally.
Yeah, next to the last show of the
Thursday. Year. Yeah. This is the week between Christmas and New Year's Eve where everybody's wondering, everybody's off. No one's working. I mean, a few people are working, but most of us have off. And it's what do we do? To just sit around and eat leftover Christmas food and get ready for, the New Year celebration. This is kind of a limbo week for most people. This is the perfect time. And we're not the only people who are saying New Year's resolutions. The gym is running the commercials. Everybody's running the commercials. Get your New Year's resolution. Do this, do that. Any time of the year that you're not doing what you want to be doing is a good time to start laying down resolutions and goals for where you're going to go.
Yep.
We've got a whole week, most of us, to sit down and start putting these things together. The way Bill and I like to do it isn't just, writing a little checklist of resolutions that we want to do. We take a much more holistic, much more professional approach to this. We want you to start putting together literally proposals. For every resolution, every goal that you want to do, I want you to put down a proposal for how you're going to make that happen, a proposal that you can follow step by step by step by step. And let's talk about some of the obvious ones that are going to get us to being more productive and purchasing and owning and benefiting from more real estate. Let's talk about some of the ones that aren't as obvious that are also going to get us to those same spots. So let's start off with the obvious ones. Bill, I'm going to toss the ball to you because it's also football season.
So I do this every year, and it's one of the great things that we can do in our lives to give us momentum going into the new year and carry us through. And that is, I sit down and you can do this in about 20 minutes, and it's pretty amazing. I take a blank piece of paper, I set a timer, like your iPhone's perfect for this, and I set a timer and I write down as fast as I possibly can. I do not judge anything. I write down everything that falls into one of these three categories. And by the way, everything falls into one of these three categories, and it's be, do, and have. Who do I want to be in this coming year? What do I want to do? What do I want to have? So everything that you can think of will fall into be, do, and have. And so you don't categorize them. You just start writing down as fast as you can everything you'd like to have, do, become, whatever, in this next year. So I take about 20 minutes to do that. And I'm going to tell you, if you can do that for 20 minutes, you're amazing. I've been doing it for over 20 years. I've yet to be able to fill out a full 20 minutes. That's a long time, but that's the time I set aside to be able to do it. And so once I'm just dry, and usually that's around 80 to 100 things. Then I want to go back and I want to clear my mind. Then I want to go back and I want to read them. Again, I'm not judging them in any way. I want to read them, and I now want to categorize them as be, do, or have. And literally, you can just write next to it a B, a D, or an H to signify that it's be, do, or have. Once I've gone through that process, and that's literally 3-4 minutes. That's very quick. Now I want to take those and rewrite them. I want to break them down and separate them. And I usually take a clean piece of paper. Here's everything I want to be. Here's everything I want to do. Here's everything I want to have. Now I've got 3 pages. Once I've gone through that, and again, that part is very quick. Once I have those, then I want to take that top page. I want to take the B page. What do I want to be in this coming year? Who do I want to become? And I want to now go through each of those, and I want to prioritize them. I want to rank them 1 through 10, however many there happens to be, but I want to rank them top to bottom, 1 obviously being the most important. And then I want to do that with have, and I want to do that with do, so that I've got be, do, and have, and I've got them all ranked in order of importance for each category. Then I want to take a clean piece of paper And I want to take the top 10 only for each category, and I want to write them on a new page. And again, we're talking just a few minutes here. I want to write them on a new page. I'm not clearing them up. I'm not defining them. I'm not changing them. I'm just writing them just as I put them down originally on the paper, 1 through 10 for each category. I'm transferring that to a single page now. Now I've got 30 things I want to accomplish in this coming year. Now I want to go back with another new page, and out of that 30, I want to rank that 30 together and rank 1 through 10 with that. And so I end up with the 10 most important things for me to accomplish in the coming year. Some of them are going to be in the B category, some are going to be in the do, some are going to be in the have. But it's the 10 most single important things for me for the course of the year. And I want to rank those 10 in the importance of it. Now that I have my top 10 for 2022, now I can sit down and start to build an attack plan for each one of those.
And remember, this isn't just business. This is personal as well. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Integrate all of these together. This is your personal plans, your professional plans. And it could be a lot of you are working a regular job or working a career and getting into real estate. A lot of these can be your career plans. They don't just have to be your real estate plans, what you want to do. Make it a holistic approach. The other thing that I like to do, and I know Bill does too, he just missed saying it. Have your spouse or your significant other do exactly the same thing. Yeah. Have them do exactly the same thing. And then when you get to that 30, okay, match them up and see which ones are the same and start working on those together. Even if you've got, say, 15 that are different, okay, provide that list to your spouse and let them know that you want them to keep you accountable on this. I want you to check in with me every week and ask me how I'm doing on this. I want you to ask me what I've got done on this every single week. Ask me how many offers I've made, every single week. I want you to just not hound me, just keep me accountable, remind me. And I'm going to do the same for you. And remember, we're not hounding these people. We're not beating them with the stick because they didn't do their goal. We're encouraging them. Okay. If you are in a relationship, if you're married, you've got a significant other, you're in a serious relationship, whatever it is, you guys are a team. You're a partnership. The better that other person does, the better you're going to do. They will pull you through the hard times, and you need to pull them through the hard times. And that is what a relationship is about. That is the type of relationship you need to be looking for if you don't already have it. So make it a partnership type of thing that you're doing when we put these goals together, our resolutions for our new year. Now we're up on a break, so we'll be back in just a second. And we're back. And in the break, Bill said, I've got more things we got to add. We got to shore this up with some more foundation. And then I want to talk about making each one of those points accountable for you. But go ahead and add in your foundational points, Bill's points of wisdom for resolutions and goals for 2021.
So what will happen for 2022?
2022.
Yeah. So what will happen?
Already messed up my list.
So what will happen is, things really break down into some very basic categories. I call it be, do, and have. But I've also done it where years prior where I did it in, these are the things that are important to me spiritually. These are the things that are important physically. These are the things that are important with my family, things financially. When you're doing be, do, and have, that all falls, it all encompasses those areas too. So if you're thinking that I really prefer to hit those particular categories, that all falls into be, do, and have as well. And could you use those categories to do the same thing? Yes, you could. But just make sure that you take some specific time for each category. And again, we don't talk about it being a huge amount of time. Take some specific time. And then in doing that, you say, okay, here's what's important to me in each of these areas of life. And then they mesh together because our life meshes together. We especially as men, we like to compartmentalize things. And a lot of times that is very helpful for us, and sometimes it's not. But they all fit together so that this will help you keep from everything being business oriented or everything being family oriented, or everything being physically oriented or spiritually oriented, so that they all overlap, but you're not leaving out one segment. I'm not doing everything spiritually and family and doing nothing financially. If I am, I'm living under a bridge. I'm not doing everything financially and leaving out family. If I am, then I'm living in a great house and I have no family. So you want to make sure that you take all of those items and spread them across. Understand they all interlap and they all mesh together. When you now take your 30 and you're boiling it down to the top 10, you'll have some from every category.
Yeah. And the word that fits this is integration. Okay. You need to integrate these things that need to work together, just like your life. Okay. Yep. Our life only works because we integrate it with the things that we need in our life, in our soul, in our health, whatever it is. If one of our goals is to be healthier, whether it's to eat better or get more exercise or whatever it is, if we neglect that for something else, say we neglect getting healthier in order to spend more time making offers or to spend more time out on the streets, looking for properties that are available, then our health suffers and we're no longer happy. We're no longer able to make offers as much as we want because we are spending more time at the doctor, or we're spending more time, just feeling bad and feeling sick. Yeah. Same thing with our spiritual health. If going to a church for that sense of fellowship, which a lot of us do, okay, so much fellowship happens at the right church. Okay, if you cut that out of your life in order to do something else, you're missing that. That's nourishment for your soul. That's nourishment for your heart. That's nourishment for your faith. Make sure that we've integrated these things together, and don't say, okay, well, I have to pull a little bit from this in order to do that. I have to pull a little bit from this to do that. I kind of look at it like love. Okay. You can never have enough love. You can absolutely integrate things together. You will find people at church that are into real estate. They may be looking for somebody who wants to just talk real estate. They may be looking for somebody who wants to partner up with real estate. They may be looking for somebody who wants to mentor them in real estate, but it will keep your brain going. So you're mixing fellowship with work. You will find somebody at the gym who wants to talk real estate while you're on the treadmill. If you are one of those people who likes to talk on the treadmill, some people don't like. It integrates very, very well. This is your life. This is every single part of your life. We're basically taking the elements of our life and we're separating them so that we can work on them. But it is still one piece of us as a whole. Yep. We're not going to separate one and work on more than the other necessarily. We're going to take the things that we need the most work on and address it. So if you've got a vehicle and your tires are getting bald, you're not going to take the oil and change it. You're not going to check the air filter and change it. You're not going to do everything that could be done just because the tires are getting bald. You're going to address the tires so that you've got new, fresh tires on this car so that it's driving great. When you need the oil change, you're going to get the oil change. When you need the air filter change, you're going to get the air filter change. Think of this the same as your life. Work on what needs to be stronger and accept and lean on what is already strong in your life. And oftentimes that's where our relationships come in again. Our partners have a lot of strong points that we don't have. We're able to lean on them. We're able to get encouragement and support from them, and they can help us be better in those ways.
Absolutely. Spot on.
Listen, we can just end this segment early. I'm just kidding. We are coming up on the end of the segment in a minute, but what I want to address in our final segment is what I said at the very beginning. Once we start taking each of these things and we can define what they are, okay, we need to take a professional approach to them. We don't writing them on the wall or putting them. My wife loves doing this. She likes putting things on whiteboards or putting up little signs around, like just different things. I'm staring at a sign that she put up over a year ago that says actions bring results. It's been sitting right here because she uses this room also. She's that kind of a person. That's not going to do it. Okay. If that encourages you, that's great. Okay. But actions bring results, but you have to take those actions. If you don't make that action, just putting up that sign isn't going to get it done. Okay. Making that action is what is going to get it done. And we're going to talk about making each one of these things actionable when we get back.
Yep.
And we're back. And we're going to talk on this last segment about making each of these goals that you put. People call them resolutions, but we're going to say goals. Okay. Each of these goals, we're going to talk about how to make them actionable. Bill, you and I are pretty much on the same page because we've talked about this before. In fact, I talked about this in past shows. So I'm going to let you talk about how to make it actionable, how to put together the plan, just using it in reverse. This is what we want to accomplish, and this is how we're going to accomplish it.
You know, Kev, one of the things I think is the easiest way to epitomize this and to give a great example of it is something that so many people get concerned about. As you know, since the end of March, I've lost a little over 40 pounds, 41.4 pounds. Now, so my goal is by the end of the first quarter to be at 50 pounds. I'm certainly well within reach there. Now, how did that happen? Because when you set out and say, in the next year, I want to lose 50 pounds, that can be really overwhelming. It can be an incredibly huge, daunting task. But I went back and said, I'm not worried about focusing on 50. I'm really not even worried about focusing on 1 pound a week. I want to focus on today. For me to get to 50 pounds in the course of a year, I need to lose 2.3 ounces a day. 2.3 ounces a day. Now I can start and say, okay, today my goal is 2.3 ounces. And I can start looking at what am I eating today? So if I pick up a pint of Bluebell, I can go, this is probably not going to help me get there, and gives me the encouragement to set it down, because it's more important for me to stay on track with my weight goal than it is to consume this incredibly delicious heavenly treat here. But what's more important? It's more important for me to hit my weight goal because of the ramifications that has on life in general. You look better, you feel better, you're healthier, and you're likely to live longer and live a better life because of that. So that's where we go. And so it breaks down. If you'll take all of your goals that you want to achieve for this coming year, all the results you want to have for this coming year, and you will do a like process, a breaking down process. And you look at, if you're looking at your monetary goals and you're in real estate and you look at passive income, and you say, by the end of 2022, I want to be making $5,000 a month, every single month, in net positive income for me, net passive income. Okay, so now I got to look at, if I want to be at 5, and we'll do 6, that makes it makes the math a little easier. If I want to be at 6,000 by the end of the year, that means that every month I need to have created an additional $500 of passive income. Now, $500 of passive income doesn't sound like a whole lot. So it adds up the cumulative effect, just like the weight loss, just like when people are putting on weight, you know, that extra bite of pie, that, this pint of ice cream won't hurt this week. Well, it all has that effect. So when it's important for me to reach this goal of X dollars of passive income, in this example, $6,000, I know I got to make $500 of additional passive income in the month of January. Well, now how do I do that? So now I've got optimal ways. Well, passive, typically we're going to be doing rental property. Well, for me to make $500 in rental income, I either need to have a really big, nice single family that's got a very nice spread in it, or I can look at doing a little bit smaller spread per property and look at a duplex or a triplex or a quad. If I'm looking at a quad, I've only got a net $125 net positive cash flow per unit. And by the way, you and I won't even look at a unit that's only producing $125 a month in net positive cash flow.
I bought it for 10 grand.
Yeah. So, so you start looking at that, and there's a way to break down all of this. And that's what Kev's talking about, is us taking the time to look at what is truly important to us and what we want to achieve, and then to build a battle plan, an attack plan. And I just say you break it down by month to begin with, and then you break it down by days and weeks. And so if I take that, I'm looking at, if I got $500 a month, then I want to look at, okay, now I need to create at least $125 of additional passive income this week. Now in real estate, it'll work a little bit. It's a little more fluid than the exact science exactly that way, because I'm likely to buy a duplex or a triplex, and I'm going to knock out a chunk of that with one purchase, or a quad, and I'm going to knock it all out in one. And usually in a duplex, you're going to knock out 500. And so I want to look at, can I easily buy, rehab, rent, boom, get squared away? So I have picked up one property. Now look, if I buy it and get it under contract in January, it's not likely that I'm going to have it closed, remodeled, if whatever work it might need to make it rent ready. Yeah, I've got it rent ready, I've got it rented, and I've collected money in January. That's not going to happen because the timeline's just too short. But I've hit my goal of, I got this property bought and it's going to produce this much. And then through the course of the year, it will kick in. It will, as we refer to it, it will come online as income producing. Same thing in February, same thing in March. And then I'll have some time, as you see this going along, you'll get to a point where you go, I got a shot to pick up an extra property this month. And you pick up an extra, and suddenly you get down to December and you're going, hey, we're here or better. And that's how you break this thing down. Goals are really not complicated. It's that we don't take the time to really focus on them and break down, how do I go about, what's my battle plan? How do I go about achieving this particular goal?
There's an old saying that says, if something's worth doing, it's worth doing right. And take the time to get the education, take the time to do the research. So going back to the original example that Bill gave at the beginning of this weight loss, okay? If you go a little deeper into, why is it that, is it my diet? Is it my exercise patterns? What is it that is causing the weight loss or the weight gain that I've had all this time? Am I eating too much processed foods? Why are processed foods putting on more weight than, say, more natural foods? Can I start integrating more natural food into my diet and stop eating those processed foods? Is there a way that I can walk an extra mile every day? Is there a way that I can spend an extra 10 or 20 minutes on the treadmill? Is there a way that I could maybe get a Peloton and actually stick to a Peloton routine? What is it that's going to make that more specific? What's going to drive that particular factor? Like I said, do a little bit of research, educate yourself so that you're not just going into this saying, okay, well, I'm going to lose more weight and this is how I'm going to do it. I'm just going to lose 2.3 ounces every single day. How are you going to lose those 2.3 ounces? Is it going to be because you're not eating that Big Mac that you have every day? Is it going to be because you are walking an extra mile and a half every day? What is it that you're going to specifically apply to your life and to that goal to make it happen? And go through that process with every single one of these goals that you are setting. I'm going to give you another example because it gets you from point A to point B, and then we're going to wrap up the section because we're done. Let's say, and this should not be one of your top 30 goals, but let's say one of your goals is you want to go to Aruba for vacation. You'll take your family to Aruba for vacation in December of next year. We're in December now. December of next year, you want to spend Christmas in Aruba. How do we get to Christmas in Aruba? We don't just write on the wall, Christmas in Aruba. That's what my wife would do. Christmas in Aruba 2022. We need to say, how much is that Christmas in Aruba going to cost us? How much money do I have to set aside in order to buy the tickets? When do I need to buy the tickets to make sure that I'm going to be able to go to Aruba and not have to pay more or miss out on those cruise tickets to Aruba because the ship is full? When do I need to let the boss know that I need time off? When does my wife or significant other need to let the boss know when to take off? Can I fit this in with when the kids are going to be out of school? Every single element that is specific to that goal, setting that trip to Aruba in December, is something you need to work through, and it needs to be listed. That's going to be your proposal for that particular goal. I need to ask for time off at such and such date. Wife needs to ask for time off on such and such date. We need to have X amount of dollars in the bank account by such and such date because we're purchasing the tickets for the cruise and purchasing the resort tickets. Every single step of the way needs to be listed out specifically in an outline when you need to address it so that you can get it done, so that when December of 2022 rolls around, you are sitting watching Bill and I on our 2022-2023 resolutions and goals show from your computer in Aruba. And we'll look forward to getting a postcard from you. Anything to add before we get out of here, Bill?
Yeah, I just want to say, everybody reminds you that you need to review your goals on a regular basis. And I'm going to hit on the weight thing because it's so easy to do and applies to so many of us. A lot of health, weight, diet experts will tell you, oh, you only need to weigh once a week. You don't need to weigh every day. And I say, for me personally, I'm going to say that's complete BS. I weigh twice a day. I weigh at a certain time in the morning. I weigh it at 6 a.m. and then I weigh at 10:30 at night. Because I want to see what my weight difference is. And I can know when I do, and the other thing I do is I have this on Excel spreadsheet, and I track all of it as I do all of my goals. So I track all of it. So I can pretty well tell you when I do my weight tonight at 10:30, it'll give me whatever my weight is. And I have to have a scales that has ounces on it. So it'll tell me exactly what my weight is. And then I know within 2 ounces, here's what my weight's going to be when I weigh in the morning. And so I know that night, have I had a good day today as far as this particular goal goes? I can know that. And if I see that my weight's a little higher than I thought it would be, then it gives me time to step back and go, all right, what did I do today? Did I have more calories than I should have? For me, it's carbs. Did I have more carbs than I should have? I do intermittent fasting. Did I break my timeline for fasting? For me, it's 16 hours fasting, 8 hours eating. So did my eating time stretch into my fasting time? What did I do that caused the fluctuation? Did all of that fit the same? I simply consumed something that had too many carbs in it. Just whatever it happens to be. But it gives you time to reflect on that. And the reason that you want to reflect on a regular basis is it keeps you focused. And focus is the key to achieving any goal. Is you have to stay focused on it.
Yeah, it allows for adjustment. We talk about maps and we talk about blueprints all the time on this show.
Yep.
Your goal should be exactly that. You should have a blueprint.
I'm going to step out of camera 1 second.
And a map for every single goal that you're trying to put together. Make sure that you put that together accurately so that it's going to get you from where you are now to where you need to be. And you've got that blueprint in front of you. And like I said, that's something you can share with your significant other, your spouse, your partner in crime, whatever you want to do. Business wise, if I had a business partner, I would have a blueprint for my business aspirations so that they would know exactly what I want to do, so that they're on the same page, especially because they're my partner, but so that they can help keep me on track for that, and they can be on track for that as well.
I want to wrap by saying one thing. This is an absolutely fabulous book, Power of Focus. It's by Mark Victor Hansen and Jack Canfield. Those are the guys that wrote the single most successful series in the history of publishing, the Chicken Soup for the Soul Chicken Soup for the Soul series. They've sold over 1 billion books.
Did you know?
1 billion books.
I like
dumplings.
Chicken Soup for the Soul. I'm just kidding.
But this, if you're not getting where you want to be, this is a fabulous book to pick up. Power of Focus.
Victor Hansen is an excellent author. You really honestly couldn't go wrong with any of the books he has written himself or has been.
One of my
So, and one of
Mark
Bill's
and I are
friends and mentors.
close. Yeah, he's as close as you and I are, and that says a lot. I got it, and he sent me a text. He had his grandkids with him, spending Christmas with him this year, and so he sent me a early morning photo on Christmas morning. He and Crystal and their 3 grandkids, which was absolutely amazing. So
Christmas, part of Christmas at Disney Springs. So you came up in conversation a few times, especially from Charisma.
You and I've had some times at Disney Springs with Charisma.
Yes, and she was like, "That's where Uncle Bill and I went. That's where Bill and you went." And it's so. All right. Thank you for joining us. Have a great week. We will be back here on Thursday, just before New Year's Eve. Get to work on your goals and your resolutions, and we'll have more information on moving forward for 2022 when we get back. Happy investing.